Good morning. Welcome to my thought for the day. Well, I woke up this morning thinking, first thing I must do after I've done my thought for the day is water the garden. And springing into my mind came the lovely verse in Isaiah 58, verse 11. The second half of that verse says, "And you shall be like a watered garden." Thinking about where the Bible was mostly written was a place that knew a lot of heat, and to get your plants and your crops to flourish, you would have to have done some watering and had regular rainfall. But this promise here, you shall be like a watered garden, like a spring of water whose waters fail not. If you read the rest of the chapter, it's all about true religion, really. The idea that religion is all about the offerings you make and the observations of religious duties, and that is, and you can behave in your ordinary everyday life any way you like, treat people any way you like, but if you make the right offerings and you keep the Sabbath, God will bless you. And Isaiah is saying what so many of the prophets, all the prophets really said, that that's not how it works, that actually the whole of our life is worship to God. And Jesus summed it up in the two great commandments: love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind and soul and strength, and love your neighbour as yourself. And that the way to be truly Christian in our lifestyle is to honour God in every aspect of our life and to love our neighbour as ourselves. And that treating people badly, dishonouring them, taking advantage of them, being unkind to them, poking at them, speaking wickedness, even the words we say are important. Now, for us as Christians, it's not that we do these things to earn salvation. We do these things because following Jesus leads us to a different lifestyle than the one that we would have if we weren't following him. We do it because it's the fruit of our life. As so many people have said, we're like a tree. The Bible describes us often as being like a tree, and the root of our faith is firmly, deeply down into the foundation of Jesus, that says he has paid the price for our sin. Therefore, we don't do things in order to be saved. But as our tree grows, as it grows up, it will bear fruit on its branches, and the fruit on its branches are the things that we do and say, and the way that we think as we follow Jesus. And as we observe, to the best of our ability, we try to live out those two great commandments: to love God with all our heart and mind and soul, and to love our neighbour as ourselves. To be willing to do those things that our neighbour needs, to notice when our neighbour needs help, and to offer that help, that support, that assistance, and not to begrudge anything. To think of those who are less fortunate than ourselves, to think and pray for those who are suffering, and perhaps even send stuff, collect. There are many places that collect and send to those areas of the world where there's great suffering. We can be part of all of that. And when we live in that way, you see, it's not that we're motivated to be nice in order that we get the blessings of God. No, the motive is wrong. The motive is, Jesus has loved me enough to die for me. He's paid the price for me and you. And because he's done that, I want to live my life for him. I want to live a life pleasing to him. I want to be more like him. The The benefits are wonderful. If we think, well, I'm saved, I don't have to do anything else, all my sins are forgiven, doesn't matter how I live my life, I shall just live to please myself. Well, either you're not truly born again, or you've got a completely wrong idea. Because when we live a wicked life, when we gratify the flesh, and when we think only of ourselves, we give the enemy an open door in front of him, and he will take advantage of us, and we will suffer as a result, not because God has punished us, but because Satan has taken advantage of our foolishness. No. If we put God first and love our neighbour and go out of our way to serve God, then it says in verse 11 of Isaiah 58, the Lord will guide you continually and satisfy your desire with good things and make your bones strong, and you shall be like a watered garden, like a spring of water whose waters fail not. A watered garden, a well-watered garden. How lovely. How lovely. God is making something really lovely and beautiful out of us. Out of the raw materials he finds in us, he is making a well-watered garden. Some people are really, really good at gardening, and some of us, like me, we can manage the watering, but we don't get very much further than that. But when you see a beautiful garden, well cared for, well watered, it is a delight to the eyes and a refreshment to the soul. That's what we're meant to be like, and God is going to do that in us. I'm out of time now. God bless you. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.